All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. I also want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the elect of Yasharahla, as well as the hopeful elect that I came out there enduring this truth across the four corners of the earth, preaching and prophesying through the spirit of Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, in truth and sincerity, as well as the men and women that follow, and those who might look like the other nations, but are of the nation of Israel on their father's side by blood. And Salaki, I did miss a little bit. I also want to give double honors unto the elders and bishops of Great Millstone as well. All right. And then going straight into it, you know, reading this precept, you know, jumped in my mind. Or came back up, rather, I would say, you know, reading upon it a couple weeks ago, I would say. And I'm thinking about this precept, and I'm like, well, let me read it. This is Matthew 19:12. It says, "For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it." Now, pretty much being a eunuch, you know, you're not dealing with women. Okay, so some have been born like that. Maybe something, you know, wrong with their parts down there. All right, and some, okay, have been made eunuchs of men because what they would do is take away their parts and kind of have them watch over the women. All right, watch over their chambers and things. It's like, well, you can't do anything with them because you have nothing to do with. Now, this is the key part. It says, "And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it." Now, that don't mean they, you know, that don't mean that they cut their own parts off, you know, but they became that in the mind. All right, starting within the mind, having that mindset of a eunuch for the kingdom of heaven's sake, right? As Paul, matter of fact, let's get that. What do you say? Be as I, be even as I. It's like 1 Corinthians. All right, here we go. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 6. And it reads, "But I speak this by permission and not of commandment. For I would that all men were even as I myself. But every man hath this proper gift of the Most High, one after this manner and another after that." Now, the Lord called us, and he called us for the purpose, for according to his purpose, for whatever purpose he need us to do. You're going to have men on different levels. Certain men can handle certain things that other men can't, you know. This is just how the Lord, you know, has things set up. And that's why it's, you know, important to, as it says in Philippians, seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You know, some brothers are into certain things that other brothers aren't. And that's why you have to have your individuality within this, man, within this gospel. And I remember Elder Apostle Gabar saying that years back, you know, that part is very important, because if you just do something because somebody else is doing, you might not be strong enough to do it, you know, and that could cause you to not necessarily go off, but be weak in the faith. All right, so you have to deal accordingly. Okay, and so verse 8, it says, "I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn." So he's saying, that's what I'm saying. Paul, he didn't deal with women. He was locked in on this gospel, man. All right, he was locked in on this gospel, fulfilling his mission. So as it said, some men, right? We'll get that again in Matthew's 19 and 12. And I'm going to just skip to the second half of it. It says, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. And that's why he said, he that is able to receive it, let him receive it. You able to understand what I'm saying, then, you know, hey, and understand it. All right. And then like, oh, I'm about to, you know, cut my parts off. So, and nah, man, you don't, no cutters into the flesh, you know. You don't want to sit there. That's unnecessary, basically. All right. And that's why it says it, you know, if it's better to marry, then it's better to marry than burn. You just can't sustain, but just make sure you have that mindset that the kingdom of heaven comes first, you know. So that let me see, because I was also thinking about, so when it comes to being a bishop, right, and not like making yourself a bishop, okay, that comes as earned, as we read within this chapter of 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. All right. So it reads, this is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous. Though as you read these, this is characteristics of a bishop, ways that he must carry himself. Okay? One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of the Most High? Which is important. You know, if you just letting your children do whatever they want to do and your woman do whatever they want to do, how can the Lord trust you to hold a certain position in the church, man? All right. Now, everybody will be set up in their lot. And that's why I said not seeking to be a bishop, okay, in the sense of forcing your way or faking the funk to get into that position, but also having that mindset, these characteristics. All right. Far as, you know, being of good behavior, given to hospitality, being able to, you know, have brothers over and what's the word? Hold a feast for them. All right. Apt to teach. You're ready to teach, not given to wine. You're doing it in moderation. All right. In the sense, you know, you only, you know, drink on the Passat. Okay. You're not a striker, not greedy for Luther's sake. You can't be bought, you know, so on and so forth. Different characteristics, because it also goes down into being a deacon. All right. Which it has similar characteristics. All right. Similar behavior. When you go down to verse 12, it says, let the deacons be the husband of one wife, ruling their children in their own houses well. For they that have used the office of a deacon well purchased to themselves a good degree and great boldness in the faith which is in Hamashiach YAHAWASHI. All right, so there's different characteristics, you know. I think it was verse 8 where it started with the deacon. It says, likewise must the deacons be grave, not double-tongued, not given to much wine, not greedy for Luther's sake, Salakia, not greedy for filthy lucre, holding the mystery of the faith in a pure conscience. So once again, putting yourself into that mindset. All right, you might not be a deacon in the sense of position, you might not be a bishop in the sense of the position, but you can still have that mindset and practice those characteristics for the kingdom's sake. All right, to keep yourself grave, which is pretty much being grounded. All right, keep yourself sober. Matter of fact, I want to look up that word sober, just, you know. What's that? 1 Timothy 3. It says okay, yeah, I was right. I was thinking it, but I just want to make sure. It says of a sound mind, sane in one's senses, curbing one's desires and impulses, self-control, temperate. That's what being sober is. Because when you're inebriated, you can't really control yourself. All right, you can barely control your walk. That's why they do sobriety tests. Okay, if an officer feel like they, he smell alcohol or you might be drunk, they have you walk a straight line or do certain tests with your eyes, so to see if you're sober, see if you can control yourself. All right, and that's what a sound mind would do, as well as curbing one's desires and impulses, because you can't just be impulsive. I want that, so I'm just gonna go and get it, in the sense of whatever it is. But you're just being self-controlled. You understand that you have a job to do and you're willing to do what you got to do to get it done. So yeah, Lord willing, that was edifying. I know I was kind of speaking a little fast. I'm at the gig right now, and through the Spirit, the Lord allowed me to have an opportunity to put up a lesson. So I'm like, let me just get to it. All right, but through the Spirit, having a mindset of a bishop, having a mindset of a deacon for the kingdom of heaven's sake, all right, as well as whatever can help you, further your walk in this truth, in this ministry, man. All right, let me get one more precept. Is it 37? Yep. Ecclesiasticus 37:27. It says, "My son, prove thy soul in thy life," meaning test your soul in your life and see what is evil for it and give not that unto it. Which you're going to have to constantly do this. Some things might start to overcome you that once didn't overcome you. You was able to overcome it, but now it become so big in your life, in a sense, that now it's starting to overcome you. Because you're giving it too much attention. You're allowing it to grow. Okay? So you got to see what is evil for your life and give not that unto it, man. And, with prayer, with fasting. All right? And being and having a ready mind, all through the Spirit. Hey, so with that, Lord willing, you was edified, and Lord willing, we allowed to endure into the end. Once again, I want to give all praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.